August 17th. And it's $50 off in November for this venue, so that's great. So that's awesome. My God. I got a couple things very quickly. Jeffrey had asked me, can we get this light? Stand right here. Thank you, bro. Can we get this light out of my face? Jeffrey had asked me a couple things to say about our youngest brother, Stephen. But before I start, yes, we've announced Imelda. I'll just go very quickly through the room. We do have my oldest brother in attendance, Tommy Gorman, and his wife Debbie from Colorado. Susan Tyson and her husband Paul from Fairfax, Virginia. Our sister. My brother, our brother Dave Gorman and his wife Julie from Knoxville. My lovely wife, beautiful wife Michelle, and my daughter Brittany and her husband Terrace from Bowling Green, Kentucky, downtown Bowling Green. So I'll keep this short so we can get back to, hey, no one was more surprised than I was that this was a free beer. But I'll get back to it very quickly. Steve, just thank you for everything. Steve was the 8th of 8 children. So there are 6 boys and 2 girls in our family. I was the 7th, Steve was the 8th. And I don't mind telling you, by the time Steve came around, no one really gave a shit. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious about that. And he's not going to deny that. Yeah, he raised himself. So when Steve was a young man, when he was about 3 years old, though, we did have an issue with Steve, and he was a wanderer, as they called it, and he took off, and a lot of times, literally, we lost him 2 or 3 different times. And my mother, because back then, she literally spent 20 years not knowing what was going on during his youth. But when he was a young man, he took off a lot, and they actually lost him. You can imagine, any parents out here, you can imagine the fear. They lost Steve for, it was like 6 or 7 days or something like that. But it was like, he left it, there was a baseball game and he left. And so my parents thought the best thing to do was get him a bright yellow jumpsuit so that they would be able to track him down and things like that. And that was a true story. They could all back it up. So they got this jumpsuit for him. Steve, though, a lot of times he would sit in front of a psychiatrist's chair. They ask, how about your childhood? And it's a long story for Steve. But he's been a wanderer his whole life. He's been all over the world, a world traveler and stuff. Steve, we all got together and got you something, though, so people would find you in a crowd. I didn't know we weren't supposed to bring presents. I am so sorry. Okay, this is big time right here. You'll never get lost again, Steve, so it's good. Yeah, put that on for us. That's good. Yeah. This is the real stuff right here. You ever see the guys in ice fishing shows? This is it right here. So.
This is like 47 years I've been waiting for this feeling.
Now, no one, what you should know if you know Steve is this great event we're having it tonight is because of Rosemary, because it had nothing to do with Steve. The last time Steve had anything to do with anything was actually at his wedding that I was fortunate enough to go to in St. John. How many people here went to the wedding in St. John's? Oh, it's right, no one. Okay. Trisha went, that's right. Oh no, my mom was there, but short of that, no, none of you were there, but we went for 1 week in St. John's. Was a great event. They had a 7-minute wedding. We spent a week down there celebrating, so it was good. Steve was in charge of everything, and he really was proud of himself because he had this nice place. I didn't care, it was free, so that was when he had money, so it was nice, man, it was awesome. So we went down there and just blew it out. But the thing that he had was, they had a beautiful wedding, and it really was beautiful, and he had a chef come to the house to cook for everyone. You remember that? It was awesome.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. So they made this like 15-course meal, and it was awesome, and had this seafood. It was great. So it was awesome. So next morning, wake up, go down to the breakfast table, and Steve had asked me how I did it. And I don't mind. Is everyone done eating? I had that evening like explosive diarrhea. I'm just going to tell you straight up. That's the way it was. So Steve said, how's everything going? I said, it's good, except I'm about to die. And he said, oh my God, I am too. And then a couple other people rolled in like, oh my God. And so he's like, I wonder what that was. So he talks to the chef that he had hired. He said, hey, some of the guests had some problems that night. And he's like, oh my gosh, oh man, I'm so sorry. It probably was, and it was a native fish called escalar. I still remember it. Because lost 14 pounds that night. He's like, it's probably the native fish. He said, a lot of times when people come down here to the Virgin Islands and eat this native escalar, like if they eat more than 5 ounces, sometimes it'll cause really bad diarrhea. Steve's like, good. How big were the portions? He said, 10 ounces. And Steve, that's why you don't go with a low bidder. That's what happens right there. All right, last story very quick and I get out of here. So I'm going to fast forward backwards to the summer of 1989. By the way, I didn't introduce my other brother, Rich Robinson's here in the room tonight. Rich, where is? No, he's not our brother. Okay, he's one of them. All right, good. That was an awkward announcement. Sorry. Now he's the greatest dude in the world. Where is he? All right. Jeffrey Gorman. I'm sorry. My nephew is in town. Our nephew is in town. Jeffrey is here too. Let's give him a hand. Jeffrey, not the cousin Jeffrey, the real Jeffrey that's got talent. I thought he left. I am so sorry. So let's fast forward very quickly to July of 1989. I remember it because our daughter Brittany was 1 year old, and we had a gigantic Gorman family thing at Holden Beach, North Carolina. We rented a big house, and all the people get together, and all of us came there. We were all gainfully employed except for one of us who had long hair and hadn't bathed in about a week and a half. That was Steve. And so we came there. He had dropped out of Western Kentucky University, never graduated. Really, we all thought wasn't going to amount to anything. And my brothers were really on him. I was for him, but my brothers were saying, hey, dude, I'm always there for you. Get back in school, get your degree. He's like, listen, I swear, I think this album's going to be big. We're trying to make something. And then we said, no way, it's not going to happen. Get back, cut your hair. And then in like November, they're on the Letterman show. And we knew he could do it. We knew this guy could do it all along. He never graduated from West Kentucky University. However, I do have something for him. And it's signed from the governor of Kentucky. Yes, I am an elected official. Sure surprised me. This is from the Commonwealth of Kentucky from Stephen L. Bashir, who's the governor now, soon to be gone. It says, to all those, thank you, yes indeed. To all those present shall come greetings, know that Honorable Stephen Gorman is commissioned a Kentucky colonel. Signed by Stephen Bashir and Allison Lonergan Grimes, Secretary of State, and you are official as a Kentucky colonel. You can do all the things that Kentucky colonels can do. Here you go, Stephen. And I want to say, can you provide me with
What does that entail? What is that list?
You can do whatever you want in this Commonwealth of Kentucky. I can tell you that right now. No, it's official. I'm serious, man. Pull some strings on that bad boy. Yeah, get that thing going. There's who else here is a Kentucky colonel? No, that's what I thought. Oh, right. Sam Bush. I knew he would be. That's right. Yeah, he should be. Actually, let me have that back. I can't believe we've given that to Steve. No, I do want to say, truthfully, It's my bud right here. We talk all the time. Steve is a great man, great father, great husband, and great brother. And we are blessed to have him. And just, it really does mean a lot to come down here. I don't mind telling you, most of us thought there'd be 6 or 7 people here, so no one's more surprised than I am. But it's a great thing, so love you, buddy.
Look, the truth is, I don't know what this means, but I can tell you this. I met Colonel Sanders in 1979 at a Jerry's parking lot in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and that is still the greatest moment of my life. He was in a white limousine, in the white suit. We were on a soccer trip. I shook the man's hand, and now it's all coming full circle. That's all I know.
Excuse me, Colonel. That was Doug Gorman, everybody. Doug Gorman, the older brother. Future governor of Kentucky. Until the fishnet and high heel photos come out, Governor. Which I still have. Good luck in the campaign. Jerk. Okay, Drew Consalvo, Monitor Man.